Okay, number one had a function that looked like this. So for this problem right here, it said, what are the vertical asymptotes for A? So part A was the vertical asymptotes, and part B was the horizontal asymptote. And for the vertical asymptote, what you can do is just set this denominator equal to 0 and solve it out. So you add 48 to both sides, you get something like this. Divide both sides by 3, you get that, 16. Square root both sides, you should get plus or minus 4. Okay. Then you have to test the top. Is if you plugged in positive or negative 4 to the top, do you get a 0? And you don't. So the answer for part A is x is equal to plus or minus 4. The horizontal asymptote, well, you can get rid of everything that's not the x squared, because the biggest infinity is the only thing that matters. And if x is going to infinity, the only x's that matter are the x squareds. Well, x squared over x squared cancels, and you're left with y is equal to negative 5/3. It's just 5 over 3. Okay, so number 2, x plus 2 over x squared plus 5x minus 6 divided by 3x plus 6 over all this. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is change this and flip this so it's just multiply. And then while I'm doing that, I'm also going to factor everything that I can factor. So x plus 2 is already factored. But now I'm going to factor this thing right here. And you end up with x plus 6 and x minus 1 times. So now I'll change this into a times. I'm going to flip both of these. So this is going to be 3 times x plus 2. So I'm going to factor out a 3 from both of those. And then this is going to be x minus 5 and x minus 1. The last thing is to just simplify everything. So x plus 2 cancels, x minus 1 cancels here. The only thing that's left on the top is 1 times x minus 5 times 1 is x minus 5. The bottom, the only thing that's left is x plus 6 times 1 times 1. And that's the final answer for that one. B, 1 over x squared minus 4. 2x plus 8. X plus 2. All right, so we need common denominators here. So the first thing I'm going to do is factor everything that I can factor. So this is going to be 1 over x plus 2 times x minus 2 minus 2 over x plus 4. Probably don't really need to factor that, but that's okay. Over x plus 2. Okay, you need common denominators, so we're going to multiply the top and the bottom of this one over here by x minus 2. Okay, now we have common denominators for these. So that top becomes 1 minus 2 times x plus 4 times x minus 2 all over x plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, and if you simplify all that, I'm not going to waste class time with this. You'd end up with 2x squared minus 4x plus 17 all over. I mean, you could keep this the same in the bottom. Or if you wanted, you could have written x squared minus 4 as well. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. But that ends up being the final answer for it. Okay, part C was a solving rational equations. All right, so there's only one thing that can factor here, and that's this right here. You're going to be left with x minus 3 and x plus 5. Okay, then I'm going to multiply everything by the denominators. Okay, all the denominators, this one and this one, which is included with both here, so you don't need to double dip on that. So it's going to be, so x minus 3 times x plus 5, and this one is x minus 3 times x plus 5. Okay, this, basically we're just going to cancel everything out. So this cancels here, so you're left with negative 2x plus 6. Here, when you distribute to this, the x minus 3s are going to cancel, so you're going to have x times x plus 5 minus, when you multiply here, the denominator is going to completely cancel, so you end up with 9x plus 29. Now this is just a basic quadratic equation, stuff that you've solved in intermediate. So you're going to get x squared plus 5x minus 9x minus 29 plus 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. So it's going to be x squared minus 4x plus 2x, that's 2x. And then negative 29 minus 6 is negative 35 is equal to 0. Yep. Okay, and then we have x minus 7 times x plus 5 equals 0. Solve this out, you should get 7 and negative 5, but you cannot have negative 5 as one of the answers because then you'd be dividing by 0, so that's an excluded value, extraneous solution, we don't want it. So the final answer for this one is x equals 7.